Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot and welcome to your new moon readings for the new moon in Cancer, 10th of July GMT, like really early in the morning, 1 in the morning, so 9th of July for a lot of the rest of the world. Now, as ever, this is a bulk introduction. I'm going to discuss a little about the moon beforehand because, oh God, I've got so much to say. But there is a timestamp in the description down below if you want to fast forward to your reading or if you are watching more than one. Because I would say, as ever, watch your sun, your rising, and your moon, to be honest. But the moon one is sort of a more internal process, or at least one would assume. But the other thing with this is a general reading. General reading rules apply, so timing's not absolute. If someone else appears in the reading, you can get them mixed up because I'm seeing actions and energies. I don't put a lot of stock in that, but I can see how it can happen. But more importantly, what I would like you to do is ask a question. Now, if you don't have one yet, watch my little waffle about the moon, and that might inspire one. But if you are aware of one, pause the video if you need to. Think about all of the questions that are around you at the moment and focus on one of them. But be aware of all of them because cards will answer what they want. There's, obviously, as a YouTube channel, please hit that like button while you're here, or if you like my analysis of the moon and the new moon events, let's put it that way, then hit that subscribe button. There will be more and they are only going to get better because, as I say, I am not an astrologer. I am learning this stuff, but my God, it doesn't end and it's fascinating. So I want to thank you to all returning subscribers, and also point out that I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher about the astrology from a Hellenistic, with David from a Hellenistic astrology point of view. And just remember, it's a general reading I'm about to do here. Don't give away your power. If the reading is for you, which there's a past and a present always, well, actually this time it's more of just a present. But if the present doesn't fit, don't try and make it fit. Now, this time I've been led to use the Steampunk Tarot. Now, I've actually got 3 decks called the Steampunk Tarot, but this is a big box one from Tuttle by John and Caitlin Matthews. And the more I work with this particular deck, the more interesting it gets because it's got elements of, whereas the in-between tarot has sort of the space in between each card, this one, the minor arcana seem to be combinations, like a combination of wands and pentacles, or a combination of cups and swords, or a combination of the other 2 ways of doing it, which my brain's gone completely blank for a second there. But anyway, like I say, if you're wanting to get a personal reading from me, there is a link in the Facebook, in the description, a link for the Facebook page down below. Let's get my words in order. You can contact me there directly because it has got an inbox. There's a link tree down there if you prefer another way. Facebook's really the best way to do it. Right, let's get on about this moon. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to stop looking at the camera. I'm not used to having it quite so close. So as I look at the screen, you're going to really notice the difference. So this new moon is occurring in 18 degrees Cancer, 18 degrees and 1 minute. So there's an element of numerology 9, rebirth, or at least I always see 9 as rebirth. If you think about how you collapse numbers in numerology, the 9 always disappears, but it's always there. It never really leaves. It's like this supreme force behind each number. Now, 18 degrees Capricorn is within the arc of the angel Yael, or the Goetic spirit Ipos. Let me just change pages so I've got the notes up here, and of course I haven't written anything about Epos. That was clever of me. But by day it is ruled by the Goetic spirit Goujon, or by night Vual. Now Vual reveals the past, the present, and the future. You know, he reconciles enemies and brings love to a relationship. In medieval, wonderfully sexist speak, it says the love of a woman to a man. He creates friendships and ensures esteem. He knows all and can manipulate time. That I'm, if you've seen my videos before, you know I'm fascinated with what time is on a spiritual level as well as a physics level and everything. Now, the themes that I'm pulling from this new moon, you know how I say that I don't like doing relationship readings. Well, astrology and this new moon has told me to wind my neck in, because this new moon's very much about partnerships. It's in Cancer, it's about the home and family, but it's all forms of partnerships. So between you and a significant other, between you and your friends, between you and your rulers, elected representatives, however you want to say it. And there's a lot of themes about research, and this is all seen in the symbols for 18 degrees Cancer. But just in having a look at the partnerships theme to start off with, in the Astrology Hub podcast, Anne Ortley pointed out that Juno, the wife of Jupiter, the planet of marriage vows, you know, among other things, is retrograde at the moment and is on the South Node. So traveling in the same direction as the South Node. It's funny that Jupiter's gone retrograde, but Juno was already there. Jupiter's there, going back, chasing after her. And Anne said that this would indicate that there could be quite a few partnerships coming to an end. There's more on that, because Saturn is opposite the asteroid Hera, who, again, that's the Greek form of Juno. So again, there's the matter of vows and marriage and loyalty, opposing Saturn, where Saturn is strong and likes to say no. So there's that element of, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This vow, this contract, this agreement, it's not serving us. We need to do it differently. Now, I'm not saying that that means things are coming to an end, just the way things have been going so far is coming to an end. That can be good. It doesn't necessarily mean a massive breakup, because Chiron, is it still in Aries or is it in Taurus? I think it's in Taurus now. Let me just check with my chart that's up. I'm sure it's in Taurus. Yes, it is. Right, so Chiron in Taurus is parallel. Now, parallels work like a conjunction. Chiron in Taurus is parallel Orpheus and Vesta. So there's wounding and healing and instruction to be had regarding the matters of unrequited love with Orpheus, and diving into the underworld, of course. And with Vesta, matters about the home. And you need to check the other astrologer videos about, especially Anastasia, Cosmic Astrologer, for a real in-depth look at Vesta during this new moon period. Sappho. Now, Sappho was a poet in ancient Greece, and she was a servant of Aphrodite. She's, as an asteroid, is very much about artistic abilities, sexual expression, and in Aquarius, Sappho likes to shock. Now, bear in mind that this, for the shock element, this Mars square Uranus, although the actual square is fading now, it's like 3.5 degrees going on 4 degrees arc, Mars is still parallel. So there's that Mars conjunct Uranus energy going on through the parallel. And we saw, wasn't it, January the 6th, that was Mars conjunct Uranus. So there's certainly energy for one partner to shock another. But with Chiron's presence with the Orpheus and Vesta, this can be a a healing thing. That healing thing is also we are enveloped. Um, Apollo, I forget what sign Apollo is because I haven't written it down here. But Apollo is opposing Aesculapia, which I'm assuming represents Aesculapius. So there's the god of healing, and then his, I think he's Asclepius, sorry, is his grandson. And he was given to be the earthly expert on healing by Apollo. So with those opposing one another, they're both working towards healing, and I don't think that they're actually working at odds against one another. They are enveloping the whole zodiac in a way of creating the opportunity for some healing. Now, if we look at the symbols, the Sabian symbol, Cancer 19, because 18 degrees Cancer is the 19th degree of Cancer, a priest performing a marriage ceremony. And it talks about the ritualization of productive interpersonal relationships. But also, another interpretation that I was reading talks about how marriage is, in a way, a tool of civilization to promote some form of conformity. Civilization promotes conformity to bring all facets of light into alignment. Before civilization began to take shape, there weren't any priests, ceremonies, or contracts for sexual relations. Civilization actually, by its very nature, promotes conformity, and it can create bondage and deny individuality. It is structured by laws and moral codes with penalties. So this is something that you can take advantage of, or here may well be something that will get challenged with that Mars-Uranus energy, because it's interesting that Mars being semi-sextile the moon, they can't officially see one another when they're next to one another like that. So it's quite possible that they will be working not necessarily at cross purposes, but pursuing totally different agendas. Now, I also want to say that there's a big note about research. Let me see, the Charabel degree is a man with a very old looking book before him. It has the appearance of Sonic Ancient Record. I think that might be a misprint here that I've got, but that's what it says, Sonic Ancient Record. But the book denotes a studious person, and 18 degrees Cancer, if you have that in your chart. It can denote a studious person, a profound thinker, one capable of grappling with abstruse studies. And it's study for the sake of study rather than study in order to publish or to be heard or to be a renowned expert. But there's a lot of expertise getting unleashed. This is backed up by the Kosminski degree symbol, which is an old man sitting alone in semi-darkness with an old book before him from which emanate bright rays of light. So there's this search for the truth within this 18 degrees Cancer degree, which I think is absolutely beautiful and very, very needed, especially during this time where partnerships and agreements are, well, astrologically under pressure. But if you look at the relationship of the moon to the rulers, the south node is being ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is strong at the moment. It's in Pisces, it's at home, but it's starting to move retrograde. It's like the last gasp of this period of Jupiter in Pisces. And that implies, I think we'll be discussing this with David, but it implies that leadership can be doubted, that that there can be a lot of force from the people of wanting to know the true facts, but again with a healing level, because I've just noticed as I'm going through this, the Safarial degree symbol, now I don't know what that first word is, and escutcheon Right, I don't know what an escutcheon is. I'm assuming it is some form of shape containing a harp and a gauntlet. Now, I'm really drawn to that harp because that's the symbol of Apollo. That's the symbol that Apollo uses. Okay, that's with his music, but harp, lyre, it's reinforcing that influence of Apollo. And Apollo is also a god of truth, which reinforces those other degree symbols I was saying. So here, the Sapphire degree symbol says it denotes a person of noble aspirations and refined tastes. As an interpreter of others' works, he would shine. In the character, there is a particular mixture of gentleness and irritability, of playfulness and gravity, which can render the native of this degree more difficult to deal with. So that's from a natal interpretation, but we're seeing this same vibration of let's get to the truth, let's check all the agreements, and let's cancel the ones that are useless and cancel the ones that are rubbish. Now, if that has not, because I could talk for a lot longer about this, but if that has not given you fuel for a question, if you didn't have one already, then well, I don't know what will. Because we're always, it's human nature, isn't it? Is this partnership good for me? Whether it's between us and our employer, our partner, our leaders. I mean, hell, we get to test that ever so often, hopefully, while voting rights, well, when voting rights are available. So ask your question, take that moment. Thank you very much for watching so far and watching my blurb. And if you have any comments on the reading or on the astrology aspect, well, astrology, then comment down below. I always try to respond as fast as I can, so you get a response within a day. Anyway, I think I've talked for long enough. I'll bring up the cards. Okay, Cancer. Pretty much this reading is almost saying, now don't take this as gospel, but it's almost saying sit back and let the angels take care of it. You are full of energy at the moment. You are full of wanting to surge ahead with your own projects. You're in the process of creating your own empire. You're creating your own. Well, I've got the word fiefdom going in my head, but that's the wrong. Creating the area where you are the authority, where you are the expert, where you are the creating a space for yourself where your word goes. You know, there's that could include self-employment, or that could include, excuse me, this is what I'm going to do with my life. Why? Because I say so. But I don't mean that in a harmful way. I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean it in a sort of, in a way that you're really, really excited about. You know, it's, say you was going to run away to Los Angeles to try and work in Hollywood. I don't advise that. But here is the situation where you are practicing your acting skills, you are getting known, you are, but it's all a bit fluffy at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Because this is what you are doing. You are creating your own sphere of influence. You are creating your own self-determination. You have got that going on for you, but you can't necessarily see it anywhere near as what you would like to. There's this element of indecision around you at the moment because you're so eager to surge ahead forward. But I think that because of this lack of clarity, you're like, how do I surge ahead forward? Because there's loads of things I want to do. And there's loads of things that you can do, that you can show your wares to the world. You know, I've got this skill, I've got that ability, I've got this knowledge, that expertise, and it's just not clear where or how that can be recognized, can be utilized, can get into the public consciousness, I suppose, would be a way to see it. Let's shift those along a little. You can see them better. However, we have the indecision card here from the, what's it called? Energy Oracle. And then from my tiny energy oracle, this is clarified by the sun. Now, it's not quite the happy, happy, joy, joy card of the tarot, although those overtones are there, don't get me wrong, but it's also the Ace of Pentacles, and it's also the Ace of Wands, and it's also the Ace of Cups, because it is, okay, you don't quite know how to move forward, how to present whatever it is that you're desperate to present to the world. Fine. Stop presenting and just do things, just make things. Just do what feels actually therapeutic to you. We've got Spirit bringing in 4 of airships, so 4 of swords, so there's that rest and meditation time. And with this creativity card, which is basically what this sun is start something new that you enjoy, that you know you've got the skills to create, and you're going to have fun doing it, and you might learn some stuff doing it. But the most important thing is that it's rather therapeutic. Put a hold on any arguments that you are having at the moment. Oh, I should listen to that one. And not that I'm argumentative. But also this Deep Freeze card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. It talks of being that pregnant pause where nothing is really happening, but the creative energy is building. Now, linking that with that sun card, no, don't put your feet up. That's not what I'm saying. I was going to say put your feet up, but no, get your sketch pad or build a model of something or do whatever it is, utilizing your skills, utilizing your abilities, and utilizing your creativity, not for any particular end purpose, apart from making something therapeutic for yourself, making something, well, whatever the end result is. If you're an artist and you want to make something beautiful, make something beautiful. You want to make something thought-provoking and challenging, then make something thought-provoking and challenging. Let that creativity flow, and so that you are, again, working with the skills. So it's almost like this is something that, like, you go into the garage and you spend a few hours every evening doing this thing because this is just your way of chilling out. But when you're finished, you may well have something that you can present to the world. But that is not why you are doing it. You are doing it to see if you can, or to see what you make, or just, having that therapeutic, creative flow. I think you will end up with something that you can show to the world, because I think that will enhance the power of this Emperor card, especially since here. Right, because in the past, there's some idea that has been presented to you, a love that was, and when I say a love, I don't mean for a person, I mean for a topic, for a practice, for a skill, some form of artistic passion. Oh, and he's being pursued. I hadn't noticed that. How interesting. But this is a submersible that's flying through the air. So I feel like you have shifted gears recently, and because you have shifted gears and not quite found the right place to land yet, there's this sense of, I really, really want to do stuff, and where do I do it, and what's it going to achieve? Because we have here from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, Cialia, representing motivation. Interesting also, Lord, is it Duke? I think it's Duke Vinay. I hope it's Duke. Representing extreme opposites. So it's you've got the muse on you, but you know what artists are like. You know what, however it is that whatever it is that is your art, artists, they can be temperamental folk. They're high on the flow of creativity and then really low because they feel like nobody cares, or that it's not what they are wanting to create, or they're not happy with it, or they feel like they've got writer's block, artist block, what have you. And there's that up and down nature, and chill out about the up and down nature, because the end result right now does not matter. The having fun and doing it for the sheer beauty of doing it is what matters. We have Keter, again, the popular card for these new moon readings. I think this is reading number 4, and this is the second, if not third time he's come out. But that crown, representing the crown of the tree of life, representing the crown chakra, representing the first material material is probably a strong word, but the first detectable, understandable, comprehensible expression of the will of God, or the word of God. So there is so yeah, you, whatever this relaxing therapeutic thing is that you're supposed to do, absolutely it's highfalutin. I've never seen the word faluting actually spelt. I've no idea how you spell it. So it tells me it's probably a PH. But it's yes, go with your highfalutin ideas. Do it, because victory is coming. We have 6 of engines, 6 of wands, the victory card in the period that you're moving forward to, but you have to get over this lack of clarity, this presence of indecision, this presence of how do I move forward? Well, right now, take the pressure off. You do not have to decide right now what you need to move forward. You decide right now what you're going to build in your garage. And that's it. That is it. There is, and that, I think that process will lead you to the point of, now I know how to move forward. Because that indecision is countered by that sun energy. It picks up on your Ace of Wands energy. And I think that there is somebody here who is supporting you as well, because we have, well, it's interesting. There is, I mean, gender-wise, according to the tarot, and I'm not going to assign the gender to people, but you have King of Cups as the other person influence. So bringing that sense of emotional resolution, that whole sense of, you know what, I'm okay with that. And on the bottom of the deck, you've got King of Pentacles. Now, that could be you, that you are building that foundation that is useful, and you are building that foundation through this creative flow. The final outcome card, we have Lady of Airships, which is basically Queen of Swords. And so there is that sense of, once you have gone through this creative process, you know what to cut out and what to react to, and how to go with the flow is the wrong word, because you are directing the flow, but sometimes that flow is going to hit a cross current and you have to work out how you're going to deal with that. But with the Emperor going to the Queen of Swords, that is a wonderful energy of precision, strength in moving forward, and receptivity, so that you have some level of, not that you're letting the outside influences define what you're doing, but you are refining what you are doing to compensate for, is that the right, would that be the right term, or to deal with these cross currents or criticisms or what have you. So you're not changing what you're doing, you are still going to do what you are going to do. This lady has well, she has an airship actually, but if you think about in the Rider-Waite, she's got a sword. She'll go where she wants to go and she will cut through and get straight there. But with that more feminine receptive nature, she will take on board that maybe it's easier to go a bit this way or go, just slightly to the left, slightly to the right. Because you want value to be seen in what you are doing, what you are creating. And I think that value will be seen. But what is really interesting is the other card from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell is Rahael, representing love and submission. Now, it took me a while going through all these other cards to work out what that is. So it's not surrender to God and it's not submission to another person. It's surrender to the process. And that process is your own creative process. So whatever this indecision might be about, or this lack of clarity might be about, I want to move forward, but I don't know how. I don't quite know which direction. With the indecision, I don't even think it's like an either or. It's that element of, I've got this far, now what do I do? I know I want to take this further, but how do I do that? Which way am I going to take that? And the answers will be revealed in letting that creative process go. So literally go build something in your garage. If you want a time-traveling DeLorean, you make one. Now, the angels will look after it, as I said. Guardian angel of maturity. As I take responsibility, I also develop my strength. Now, I know it says, when I say go and build something in your garage, I want to say that that is you taking responsibility. That is you taking responsibility for your emotional well-being, for your creative well-being, you are giving yourself yet another opportunity to hone your skills, refine your expression. Gabriel, angel of messengers, the herald. I am made whole by the message of love, brotherhood, and freedom, which I think you will find in this creative process. But Gabriel is also bringing something new to you, bringing good news to you, which is why this creative process opens up to the Six of Wands, Six of Engines, and then the Angel of Knowing. So that creative process is also going to reaffirm to you your skills. Yes, there is a pregnant pause right now. Everything is on deep freeze right now. You maybe can't move forward right now. So this is the ideal time to go and build something in your garage. You get the metaphor that I'm saying. Now, is there anything else that I don't even need clarification cards with this, because it's so, the message here is so strong. So yeah, if you're a bit unsure about how to proceed with you taking charge of your own life, with you defining what your sphere of authority is, you know what, right now that's okay. It really is. Go and do something creative. Like I said, build something in your garage, whatever that means. I mean, for me, it's creating weird ways of looking at astrological data, so go and tinker with something or create something using all your skills, and that allows the world to come round to get into that position where you can move forward. But it also, in and of itself, will invite or summon the way to move forward. Whether it's someone comes and looks at what you've built in the garage and goes, oh my God, we need you at such and such, or you have your eureka moment where this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to put forward. But like I say, it's building resources, building foundations, but also there is that small element of receptivity of adapting to conditions in the outside world while still being firmly focused on what it is that you are going to achieve. I think that's beautiful. That is for the new moon in your first house, Cancer. I mean, this is your new moon. This is you really having that chance to redefine your identity. And it's not like you haven't put the work into that already, but I'm getting that feeling that you're like, here's who I am, and nobody cares. Or here's who I am, and I don't know where to put me now. But that'll pass. That'll definitely pass. Just go and be creative. Really exploit this new moon. So if that means anything to you right now, Cancer, please do comment down below. Because I want this to mean something to somebody. Because it's a beautiful reading, and let me know that it's hit the ears that it's supposed to. In the meantime, watch your moon, watch your rising signs. And there's also the link down below, no doubt, for the show I've yet to record with David as I film this. I haven't even done my introduction as I film this, so if I repeated myself, it's inadvertent. Yeah, cheers.